Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear from me is the most insane story you'll probably ever hear from me on this channel. It's not just about one person, but a whole group of people, and before I get to it, I need you to do me the biggest favor and stay until the very end, as it will explain a lot of key information and some very important details. So again, make sure you lock in that like button so I know you stayed until the very end. I'm sure you read the title and know what's about to go down, but, for those who don't know, the Vandalism Gaming crew, as everyone calls it, is going under fire for a lot of things, and I was watching multiple live streams. I saw the DramaAlert video and did tons, and I mean tons of digging, so I didn't get much sleep to work on this video, but to say the least, Keemstar uploaded an interview featuring a former member of the group. Out of everyone, Keemstar can only get this particular person, and as for why, well, I have the answer, but I can't provide official proof or leaks. It's just basic facts once you understand the whole story that went down. And just trust me when I say this, because again, I don't have any footage of proof revealing why. I just know the truth because it just makes sense, and that again, it all adds up to the main story at hand here. So I did talk about him alongside Minilad, and so ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I'm talking about Ohmwrecker. Now, Ohm was interviewed to say stuff on DramaAlert regarding some news about the group. Now, before you watch the video or saw it to believe it, you'll notice Ohm didn't mention any drama he took part of, because he did, which led him to losing ties with Vanos and the rest of the gaming group, which is one of the most recent things. And of those recent things he caused, it was about being a dick towards a fellow YouTuber, Terrorizer, or Brian Michael Hanby, an Irish YouTuber who had the biggest connection with Minilad, who you already know was under a lot of fire with the allegations regarding him. To say the least, what happened between Ohm and Terrorizer was that ever since the allegations of Minilad were brought up to Ohm, he decided to accuse Brian as if he knew it all along, to which Brian didn't. Otherwise, knowing him, he probably would have said something up front after the falling out between both Brian and Minilad. Now, ever since Ohm was off the group, I've dug up some info about him on the YouTube Wikipedia and found multiple stories, which I can't fully say are true, since as it is, Wikipedia in general isn't a good source. And I'm sure that's what every teacher is going to tell you, but if there's one thing about fans, they can actually get you a lot of neat information, and after doing some readings, I understood more about Ohm. He's very manipulative, he's a compulsive liar, and at that, while his story to fame was rough due to a rough childhood, you can already see what brought him to this point it wasn't just Brian that he had beef with, it was also Minnie and Louie regarding their allegations, and as time went on, we now know that he has beef with pretty much everyone except for, Vanos and Moo, since Vanos avoids all drama and doesn't want to get involved with it, and Moo being the most mature of their group. I don't think anyone would have an issue with Vanos, because Vanos doesn't want to get involved with anything, and Moo being the mature one, obviously, and he's got a life to live, he's got his thing to do, they all have their thing to do, and it's all out ridiculous. Now, when Keemstar managed to get Ohm on DramaAlert, that was Ohm's chance to put dirt in everyone's eye for getting kicked off the group, and that nobody wanted to play with Ohm, because, all the shit, Ohm easily has, these anger issues and shit, and since naturally he couldn't do anything, and on his own, Ohm really couldn't do much after that, because he's been exposed, he's been revealed as the bad guy here, and I don't know if Keemstar himself was aware of that ongoing situation that went down with Ohm, but I'm assuming that for Keem, he brought Ohm since nobody else would speak up, and since Ohm did it, it caused some more interesting tweets and a twit-long from H to Delirious. So moving onward, I'm going to talk about some of the things that Ohm said that, he mentions in his own words. Now, he talks about Delirious jerking off with a minor on Xbox Live, right? Now, the story that went down in Ohm's words was that, and this is in Ohm's exact words, so, these aren't my words, this isn't something I read, this is exactly what he said in the the interview, and it was back in 2013, basically I Do Work, Louis Caliber, and Mexicutioner, which I don't know if many fans remember him, but unless you're an OG, you probably did, but basically, they tried to do an EDP 445 on Delirious, they tried setting him up with a minor on Xbox, and to Ohm's knowledge, he thinks that Delirious is a groomer and that he knew about the situation, since the tweets from Tyler, or Wildcat, came out in discussion about it and everything, and there's a whole document regarding all that, and they accused Delirious. Now, first off, I'm going to be honest here, before I get to the reply Delirious went on about, let me just say, it is 2013. During this time, there was no cancel culture, K-pop stans, people who aren't black, would say the N-word with hard R's and get away with it. I mean, to this day, people still do. I mean, you go to Modern Warfare, people will just say the N-word with a hard R. I mean, trust me, I know from my experiences playing Modern Warfare. But seriously, and I'm going to get to the serious bit of this, Wildcat has said the N-word on, some Black Ops 2 videos in his early 20s. I'm pretty sure he would have been canceled now, but anyway, in this time would have been laughing at the shit in 2013. Let's be honest here. We all would have been, you know, it's the Black Ops 2 days, and, you know, people are toxic. People are more toxic than they are today. Nobody ever says, oh, you're dog water kid and all this shit. You know, we actually would go hard with what we said, especially in Modern Warfare 2. Well, let's go to the Modern Warfare 2 days on that moment. Like, people would go off, okay? But seriously, Tyler goes off on Delirious on Twitter saying about how he jerked off to a minor, and let me quickly remind you one major key detail about the OG Vanoss crew. So if you are a recent fan, let's say you saw him when he reached 1 million, you know, you probably, like, before all the scripting shit that they did, because they admitted to doing, like, some scripts in some of their videos, but, you know, and before all the copyrighted music shit hit. So Vanoss's videos back then, and I mean like Black Ops 2 and before then, were akin to the series Jackass, where they would do some really fucked up and crude shit just for jokes and funny moments, you know, and I can get down with some funny jokes and moments. I like dark humor, I like all kinds of humor. But, you know, they would even do fucked up shit like what they did in Jackass, but in a gaming form of fashion, you know what I mean? And if you don't watch Vanoss's videos, I will say this, assuming you guys actually read descriptions, I'm not like calling you out for this, but assuming you guys actually read descriptions, at the bottom of Vanoss's description, he states that, you know, everything is meant to be all in jokes, nothing serious. They're just here to have a good time. They don't intentionally want to get flagged for anything, you know, and again, it's all jokes. That's simple. It's basic, you know, it's literally all jokes. Think of it like, you know, how Leafy is here. He did his satire moments, you know, and then you go to me, I make a lot of satire content when I do my commentary videos. You're probably asking, does this mean that the setup on Delirious was a complete joke? Now, from what I heard, yes. Basically, and Louis and Executioner set it up as a joke, even though it wasn't actually about Louis and Executioner. Again, this is all Ohm's words, so we're just going to go by that before I get to the real answer on this. Now, before he canceled Delirious, I think it's time we took it as twit longer. As he did, in fact, respond, I will read through the whole thing, and I'll tell you my input on this. It says, I do want to address one thing that has been said, and that has been completely misrepresented. It's something I have for many years been embarrassed about and destroyed my trust for years. I never wanted to talk about this. I still don't, but it's being forced on me. 9 years ago, 2 people thought it would be funny to do something really messed up in a form of hazing me. It's no secret I was easily excited and very crude when I was in my early 20s. Someone I played with a few times prior on Xbox messages me saying that they were wearing a towel. This caught my attention and interest. She invited me to a voice call, and this led to the equivalent of phone sex. At the time, I did not know her or anything about her. I was just excited a woman was coming on to me out of nowhere. This was before any of us were big on YouTube. I was dumb. A week or so later, I started hearing from the group about an audio recording of me with her. I was shocked, felt violated, betrayed, and to this day, I can't bring myself to fully forgive them for this. It came to the light that the 2 got the lady to message me, coming on to me and saying those things just to record it. She was on call with them the whole time, and they recorded it and shared it. I'm so embarrassed and ashamed still. I, to this day, do not remember if this part is true, but while I was being taunted for it, they also said that the woman wasn't a woman at all. Yet, they only said that she was 17. I don't know if she, or was, if it is, would make me feel worse. I was furious with everyone involved, but at the advice of others in the group, that it was best we all cut the crap and move on. I let it go. Now it's being brought back to the light. I hate having to talk about it. I don't want to name who, but they know who they are, and it sucks. So naturally, you already know I'm on Team Delirious, because not only does Twit Longer explains a lot of key details, but he and Liz Katz on Twitter also claim about Ohm being manipulative and how Louis is a dick and such. And yes, Ohm did have a history involving, you know, a lot of family shit where he had some rough times with that and nearly being killed at gunpoint. And the reason why Ohm is doing this to Delirious, in Delirious's own words, is because he didn't want to play games with Delirious and be in sessions with him, and just fucking wow. Who would have thought a majority of the drama came because of rejection of just wanting to play some games? Now, naturally, if Keem had the power to interview, you know, Vanoss, Moo, or Delirious, or even Liz Katz, naturally, I believe it, you know. While it's not Moo or Vanoss's business, let alone their fight, I'd rather at least have a trusted source by, you know, trusting someone like Vanoss, who never speaks about this type of shit, or even Moo, because it seems right that only they can really do it, or at least Delirious and Liz Katz, because Delirious being the victim and Liz Katz is, you know, dating Delirious, and it's only natural that she would also get involved, because she feels just as affected as Delirious does. And by the way, Ohm was going to use this fake email as a tactic to manipulate even more, but it was proven fake. Thanks, Tyler. You know, just saying. And on top of that, Delirious has his own responsibilities to make. I mean, seriously, if you don't know, you must be living under a rock since he is a dad, and as a dad, there's a lot of responsibility here. Liz Katz does in fact mention a few facts I didn't take upon looking into myself, such as how Ohm has some serious anger issues, so naturally, he'd find his way to get revenge. And to summarize the truth of the matter, Louie's a bitch, and Ohm is just, he can't get the dick he truly wants, you know what I mean? And Keemstar just wants a paycheck at the end of the day, which is why Ohm was brought up and not, Delirious, Liz Katz, or even Vanoss. But I'm sure if Vanoss was even present in the situation at hand, and, in the end, trust me when I say this, Ohm isn't worth trusting, and Keemstar isn't even relevant in the drama in itself. He just wants the, that money because obviously he's going to interview someone, and I guess nobody really took it upon offer. Also, for the record, his editor did in fact steal that thumbnail. I don't know if he edits his own videos. I don't know if he has an editor. I'm going to assume he does because, a lot of big YouTubers recently always have their own editors they hire, so, just take that for granted. I don't know for sure though. I'm gonna assume this because it just seems like it. But I'm not here to bash on Keem. I'm just we're just gonna go off of an Ohm for now, and at least until I get more information regarding this or any statements from the victims who were targeted in this story. Now this will be the end of the video for now, but before I go, there is one key thing you do need to know about the story that is major. So I hope you stay to the end because it does turn out that basically I do work admits to what happened with Delirious, and in his own words, he constantly apologized and Delirious didn't forgive him, which was mentioned in the twit longer because it all adds up. Now, obviously Delirious didn't forgive him according to Marcel and wanted Delirious to do a face reveal on a webcam, which is why he did that in the first place. But the thing is that now before I get further into this little tidbit of information, someone on Twitter did ask about how fucked up it was for Marcel to do this. Now, for starters, Marcel didn't think it would go the way it actually went down. I'm not trying to defend Marcel. I'm just going off of what happened between the discussion here. But Marcel states that he just wanted Delirious to do a face reveal, nothing more. And, that's about it. He just wanted the face reveal. He didn't expect, Delirious to go off on that minor or anything like that. Not even realizing that it was a minor. Because nobody, as far as I don't know if Marcel knew. I don't know what he knew about the whole thing. I know that in Delirious' own words, he didn't know this person was a minor. And I humbly thank you for staying till the very end of this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. If you're new, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss on any future videos. And this time, I'll be sure to keep you guys in the loop. Not this Keemstar motherfucker over here. I'm not trying to target him. I'm just saying, I'm not here for a paycheck. I'm just here to bring out the facts, the truth, and everything. And while we're at it, I'm also going to get some sleep. But with that out of the way, keep it real, guys. Peace.